Welcome back to Fact Bloom Insights. The Wild West, a land of legend, lawlessness, and boundless opportunity. For generations, Hollywood has painted the frontier in broad strokes: dusty towns, daring outlaws, quick-draw sheriffs, and endless tumbleweeds. But beneath the familiar imagery lies a world far more complex, surprising, and even shocking than most realize. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on Wild West secrets, 10 jaw-dropping facts that history books rarely mention, backed by real evidence, analysis, and the latest insights. Whether you're a lifelong fan of Westerns or just love a good mystery, prepare to have your understanding of the American frontier turned upside down. Let's ignite your curiosity right from the start. 1. Did you know that the Wild West wasn't nearly as wild as its reputation suggests? According to recent analyses, the homicide rate in Dodge City, often called the wickedest town in the West, peaked at just 7 killings per year during its most turbulent period. That's fewer than many modern cities experience in a month. The myth of ceaseless shootouts and chaos was fueled by newspaper sensationalism and dime novels, not by actual statistics. In fact, most frontier towns had stricter gun control than today's cities. Towns like Tombstone, Deadwood, and Dodge City routinely banned firearms within city limits. Visitors arriving by stagecoach were required to check their guns at the sheriff's office before entering the saloon or the general store. These laws weren't just for show, they were strictly enforced. A surprising reality that upends the classic image of the gunslinging West. 2. Now, let's travel beyond the familiar figures: Wyatt Earp, Jesse James, and Billy the Kid. The true builders of the frontier were immigrants, and among them, none played a more critical role than the Chinese laborers. Between 1863 and 1869, over 15,000 Chinese workers constructed the Transcontinental Railroad, enduring brutal conditions and discrimination. Their contributions were deliberately downplayed in official records, but recent scholarship has exposed the essential role they played in shaping the West's infrastructure. Without this workforce, the Golden Spike ceremony at Promontory Summit, Utah, would never have happened. Yet despite their impact, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 marked the first major federal law restricting immigration, targeting the very people who helped build the nation. 3. What about the iconic cowboy? The image we know, white hat, blue jeans, and bravado, was largely manufactured in the 20th century. In reality, more than 1/3 of cowboys were people of color: African Americans, Mexicans, and Native Americans. Census records from the 1880s reveal that up to 25% of cowboys driving cattle up the Chisholm Trail were black men, many of them former slaves seeking freedom and opportunity. The Spanish vaquero tradition influenced everything from cowboy lingo to their gear, including the first lassos and chaps. The term buckaroo itself is a mispronunciation of vaquero, a testament to the Hispanic roots of cowboy culture. 4. Water, often overlooked in Western lore, was the era's true currency. The West's arid climate meant fierce competition for every drop. The most intense conflicts weren't always between outlaws and lawmen, but among farmers, ranchers, and miners fighting for access to rivers and springs. The famous Lincoln County War in New Mexico, for example, was sparked not by cattle rustling, but by disputes over water rights. Today, historians estimate that over 60% of major land disputes in the 19th century West revolved around water, shaping policy and settlement patterns that still affect the region. 5. Let's talk about women, often sidelined in frontier narratives. Recent research shows that women held far more power and influence than popular culture admits. By 1890, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado had already granted women the right to vote, decades before the 19th Amendment. Women ran successful businesses, owned land, and even served as law enforcement officers. Mary Fields, known as Stagecoach Mary, became the first African-American woman employed as a mail carrier in the U.S., braving bandits and blizzards along Montana's treacherous routes. 6. You may be surprised to learn that the Wild West was a hub for technological innovation. Telegraph lines spread rapidly, connecting remote outposts to the outside world. By the late 1870s, towns like Virginia City, Nevada, boasted electric streetlights, years before major eastern cities adopted the technology. Steam-powered printing presses enabled local newspapers to spread news and rumors at lightning speed, fueling both the myth and reality of frontier life. 7. A little-known secret. The West was a melting pot of religions and spiritual traditions. Mining camps and cattle towns hosted not only Protestant and Catholic churches, but also synagogues, Buddhist temples, and even mosques. Archaeological evidence from California's gold rush era has uncovered artifacts from Chinese, Jewish, and Muslim communities, revealing a multicultural tapestry that defies the monolithic image of Christian pioneers. 8. Let's revisit a popular myth, the outlaw hideouts. While places like Robber's Roost and Hole in the Wall have achieved legendary status, most outlaws preferred to blend into ordinary communities, using aliases and living quietly until their next heist. Census data and Pinkerton detective reports show that notorious figures like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid spent far more time as ranch hands and shopkeepers than as fugitives. The romanticized hideouts were often used for brief rendezvous, not permanent residence. 9. The gold rush was far more than a scramble for riches. It was a catalyst for environmental transformation. Within a decade of the 1849 California gold rush, hydraulic mining had reshaped entire landscapes, diverting rivers and flattening mountains. By 1870, experts estimate that over 1.5 billion cubic yards of earth had been moved, a volume equal to more than 10 Great Pyramids of Giza. The environmental consequences were so severe that California became one of the first states to pass laws restricting mining practices, setting a precedent for national conservation efforts. 10. Consider the role of Native Americans. While many were displaced, their cultures adapted and endured. Recent DNA studies show that intermarriage between settlers and native tribes was far more common than previously acknowledged. Some tribes, such as the Cherokee and Osage, became influential landowners and business leaders, negotiating treaties and shaping the region's future in ways that challenge the simplistic narrative of conquest and defeat. So, what do these 10 secrets reveal? The Wild West was a dynamic, diverse, and surprisingly regulated society, filled with individuals whose stories defy stereotypes. By looking beyond the myths and digging into the facts, we uncover a world where law and order, innovation, and multiculturalism thrived alongside opportunity and adventure. If these revelations have sparked your imagination, there's even more to discover. History isn't just what happened, it's what we choose to remember. The real Wild West is waiting to be explored, one secret at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to follow the next videos.